Good morning, everybody. Looking around in this room and thinking back how it was 2 years ago in Aptus, LUG 2010. Most of you will remember how we all looked, and we saw a not so bright future for Lustre in these days. Just 24 months later, we have the biggest LUG ever. As Norm said, 215 representatives from the entire community showed up. And it is, from that perspective, the biggest success after the problem which we all faced. Seeing that shows what we all can achieve if we want to achieve something and we work together in the way Norm and his team showed here in OpenSFS and my colleagues in EOFS. And from that perspective, as a representative, the director of Eurpean Open File Systems, I want to thank you all, first of all, for participating, and second, Norm, your colleagues in the board, Shay and her colleagues doing all that kind of preparation. You did it just outstanding. Thank you so much for that. Now, let me give you some information what we did so far in the last 2 years in EOFS. To look back, the reaction of Aptus was that we founded on December 15th in Germany, in Munich, the Eurpean Open File Systems Cooperative. We used a legal form which was possible since 2006 and make it a real European cooperative, so you could move the cooperative from one member state in Europe to another. It's really a European legal framework. And the members are not only shareholders. The important part is that the members of EOFS are stakeholders. They work together like in other cooperatives, which you have in mind from the banking sector or from farming. It is a real work together. It is a jointly development to keep something up and running. And the purpose of the Eurpean Open File Systems is the promotion and servicing of the members' need, but also for the entire community. And we are quite proud. We have right now currently 19 members. I think it's always important to realize what the goals are and think back why we are there. The promotion of the establishment and the adoption of open source parallel file systems, sustain and enhance its quality, capabilities and functionality, and to ensure that specific requirements of European organizations, institutions and companies are upheld. To facilitate the extension of business operations also to non-members. Again, we are not doing our job just for the stakeholders. We are doing it to support the entire community. And to initiate projects or to collaborate with existing projects at regional, national, European and international level in order to support research and development activities concerning open file systems. And one of these close partnerships, friendship, or creating one family is our relationship with OpenSFS. We are jointly working together to promote Lustre and open file systems for the future, for you all as developers and for users. And last but not least, we are a non-for-profit organization. So we are not doing that for our own purpose and running it like a company. We are doing it for the community. And from that perspective, we also brought in our purposes to not get involved into any IP discussions or create IP. This is not the understanding of a service. We are just creating the platform. We are bringing those developers, users, scientists together, but we are not creating our own IP out of that. So what did we do in the last 24 months? A year after Aptus in Orlando, we had a situation already set up with OpenSFS where we saw that there is a goal, there is a joint approach, that we are again together as one family, and we could announce at ISC 2011 in Hamburg that we have created one platform for Lustre with the two organizations OpenSFS and EOFS. Then we had our own Lustre Workshop 2011 in Paris. I come to that in a while, which was a 2-day session and was very successful. And I was surprised that our friends from CEA who organized that in Paris, they made a little profit out of that first Lustre workshop. So it was really, from any perspective, a big and huge success. Then we had one joint booth with OpenSFS and EOSF at the SC in Seattle. And the activities now in 2012, we also supported the I/O Workshop 2012, which was set up by Andre Brinkmann, by colleagues from Barcelona Supercomputing Center, and by Peter Braun, also to bring in some activities for Lustre and for open file systems. Now we are here for LUG 2012. We will all be together on a breakfast meeting at ISC in Hamburg, where we will show to the public at a very early time in the morning, by the way, 7:30 to 8:45. So all of you who want to attend, don't get out too long to the parties on Tuesday evening. And we will inform you all about the work we did and what our plans are as OpenSFS and EOFS. There will be vendors like Cyratex and WemCloud and others to show their concrete activities. Then we support the WemCloud Lustre Training in Barcelona. The Lustre Workshop 2012 in Paris is already in the phase of preparation. It became a new name, I show you. And then we hopefully meet all together in Salt Lake City for SC. Now, going back to what the European Lustre Workshop was, September 2011, we had 63 attendees, we had 27 organizations and 17 presentations. And if you see, it was an EOFS only event, as LUG was an OpenSFS only event in 2011. And the new thing about it is, in strengthening our community, the board of OpenSFS as well as my colleagues in EOFS, we decided to do that all in the future jointly together, which we start at LUG 2012. And there won't be any European Lustre Workshop anymore, though it will be in Europe, in Paris again this year. It will be a joint workshop with a new name. We also hosted the Exascale I/O workshop in Garching. There was another one in Portland just recently, and there will be one coming up in Portland. And to just make that clear, because some of those who were thinking about what is this I/O workshop doing, is this a kind of competitive approach to what we work for Lustre? No, it isn't. And it can't be, because we are working for Lustre. But any activity to make our work for Lustre even more efficient and make it happen that we all go for Exascale, I think those kind of work and those kind of initiative in parallel to what we do for our main work on Lustre is appreciated. It's, as I said, it was brought up by Cyratex, by Peter Braun, by Andre Brinkmann from the University in Mainz, and by Tony Cortes from the Barcelona Supercomputing Center. And from the idea of doing everything jointly together, we had a joint board meeting in Munich, in Garching, a couple of weeks ago, and we made the following statement. The EOFS board welcomes and supports this initiative and the working group, and will adopt it as an EOFS initiative, and we invite OpenSFS to join this initiative and make it a joint EOFS and OpenSFS project whenever OpenSFS sees that as appropriate in the future. Now, we will have a joint booth at the ISC 2012 in Hamburg, and it will be a hard work for the local organizers in Germany, by the way, to do it so well organized as you did it in Seattle. But we try our best, and you see the location of that booth is pretty well set up. It's close to the entrance, so most of the attendees for ISC have to walk by and they see what we do and hopefully join into that family to keep Lustre alive. Then the Lustre Training in Barcelona, we send our people to that initiative. We push the companies and institutions in Europe to join that to get ever better trained developers and supporters of Lustre. Now, as I said, the idea is to do all the activities as OpenSFS and EOFS together, and the European Lustre Workshop was renamed. European Lustre Workshop is now LUG 12, the Lustre Administrators and Developers Workshop, and it's jointly set up by OpenSFS and EOFS. It will be September 24 to 25. And the good thing about it is, if you come to Paris and you see that wonderful city and you work with all our colleagues together, there is an opportunity to fly back to the States or wherever you have to go through via Munich, because a week later is the Munich Oktoberfest, which could be a good place, which could be an excellent place to just consider what you heard and what you worked for in Paris. So enjoy Paris and relax in Munich on your way back home. The focus will be projects and software around Lustre, solutions for the administrators, and as you see, the focus will be primarily the administrators and the users beside the developers for Lustre. We hope for many vendors, technical presentations, so if you are a representative from vendors or a developer or an administrator who want to say something in Paris, please contact us. You are more than welcome. The presentations are right now under preparations. We also are in the preparation to have the talks for that. And after the 2 days of LUG 2012, there will be a one-day Lustre Summit, as it was last year already successfully set up. And I also wanted to announce for Europe, for our next initiatives, that we are happy to have Mark Seeger giving the keynote during our breakfast meeting in Hamburg, talking about the importance of Lustre on our way to Exascale. So don't miss that early event on June the 20th, 7:30 in Hamburg. Now, to coordinate all of that, to keep that spirit alive, to have the best platform you can use for your work for Lustre, we have several activities as I showed to you, and one is very important, that we have joint board meetings to plan together what is important, what is necessary to keep that community, that family in a good conditions and together. So we started in June the 22nd in Hamburg with our first EOFS and OpenSFS board meeting. We had another one in Paris. We had one just recently in Garching, where we had Kevin Kennedy representing OpenSFS. And there was one in Dallas, which, by the way, showed how professional OpenSFS is set up. I was really surprised how deep my colleagues in OpenSFS go into all aspects of Lustre development and how the decisions are discussed and then made and then finally executed. So there is an enormous, fantastic work out there, every day. And again, Norm and Galen and Kevin and Steve in the board and your colleagues, that's wonderful. Without you all, Lustre would not have the future. So you prepare the foundation that all of us can work for that. I showed you a little bit the concrete activities and why we are doing it. Again, if I look back to Aptus 2010, I would not have thought that we meet again in 2012 with such a strong community, with the biggest number ever at a LUG, 215, with all the decisions already made, with all the work being done, and so many customers again convinced that Lustre is their open file system to use. You all contributed to that. Even in that crisis 2 years ago, you stick together. We set up the two platforms. The developers did their work. The customers stayed alongside and said, yes, we are going with Lustre. All of that together, and the boards and the people involved in that activities, setting up those LUGs and joint booth at the supercomputing, what a work. They contributed to that outstanding success. I thank you all for that, and I wish us a successful LUG 2012 here in Austin. Thank you.